Day. What's up, folks? It's Hump Day with the Sports Nuts. Last minute betting, and we're brought to you by OddsJam, the premier odds comparison company for sports bettors worldwide. I'll tell you what, lots of stuff going on today. Lots of baseball happening right now. I'm going to give you some finals and kind of keep you up to date as to what's going on out there. In case you got any bets out there, I'm sure some of you are making some bets. I sure as hell have been. We got to get them Nerfies going, Mike. People are waiting. Got to do them. All right. Jabari with us on a Hump Day, Wednesday. Lots to talk about with college basketball. Got to get your take on that. Jabari, welcome to the show. Mike, welcome to the show. Let's review what's going on out here. Angels beat the Marlins 10-2. The Marlins are 0-7, guys. Not a great start to the season. Twins over the Brewers 7-3. Rangers over the Rays 4-1. And the Red Sox 1-0 over the A's. White Sox and Braves postponed makeup date for their game June 27th. For the second straight day, they'll play a doubleheader tomorrow. And Cardinals losing to the Padres 3-1 in the top of the seventh. Royals and Orioles top of the first. Nothing. Yankees over the D-backs in the top of the 10th, 4-2. Rain delay in the Reds and Phillies game at the top of the first, no score. And bottom of the seventh, the Guardians are whipping up on the Mariners 8-0. And there are 4 games for tonight. So there you go. Now that's keeping you updated, folks. All right. Jabari, now that we're here and in Final Four territory, gotta ask you, who's playing who in the championship and who's winning the darn thing? What do you think?
Think Purdue's gonna have a really good time. They're gonna be playing. In my opinion, not the best team that was in that conference. Now, obviously, we know I'm a Houston fan, but hey, I really don't know. To me personally, who I know is winning the chip, UConn's winning the chip. That still hasn't changed for me. They're playing Alabama. Alabama's been playing great, but I just don't have them doing anything. NC State, I just don't think it's gonna be able to keep up with Purdue. I love DJ Burns, love him to death. Great season, but that's gonna be a good game. Him versus Edie.
Yeah.
I'm pretty good.
And if it is Purdue coming out of it, Purdue against UConn, that's another battle of big men. We haven't seen battles of big men, Mike, in college basketball like this for quite a long time.
Yeah, and kind of the old school type of bigs that you used to see back in the day. DJ Burns certainly reminds you of a Zach Randolph type, not necessarily the most athletic looking guy, not the tallest guy, but crafty, physical, and is, going to be able to make an impact. Edie definitely a guy that wants to get deep in the post. His size helps him there. And then with UConn, you got Kling there big. He's a shot blocker. He's a similar type of player as well, wants to get his points down low, not really an outside big, more of a guy down low. So, yeah, I love it. I love these potential matchups that we could have. I mean, obviously, we got NC State and Purdue guaranteed with the bigs. UConn wins. They're going to play one of those two teams and go against one of those bigs. So I'm looking forward to these matchups for sure for those reasons.
Exactly. All right, Justin is here with us. He wants to know, Jabari, can he get your opinion on some of his NBA player props tonight? Of course you can shoot him out there. Stephen Batts is still on the Orioles, -1.5, and the Phillies, -1.5 whenever they decide to start. Yeah, you could have had your money already. Hey, we got lots of rain out there right now, folks. Not a lot
Mm-hmm.
to do about that. In the meantime, Jabari, we're winding down in the hockey season too, in NBA. Okay, here we go. Jabari Walker under 9.5 rebounds. Wiggins under 18.5 PRA. Trey Murphy over 22.5 PRA, and Jason Tatum over 25.5 points.
Okay. Aaron Wiggins under 18.5 PRA. I like it. Trey Murphy. Just gonna depend on how much the Pelicans are really gonna play him against the Magic. Jason Tatum. No SGA tonight, so it's possible the Celtics blow them out at home. Celtics sitting at a 32-3 home record. Jabari Walker. I know it wasn't for me. You're not talking to me, Jabari, but Jabari Walker. Under 9.5. Yeah, the Hornets are pretty good against rebounding forward. So him and what's his name? Banton. They might have a little bit of a tough time, getting their rocks off against him. But you should be pretty good. You're looking good, so just keep what you got.
Yeah, write it out, man.
I thought he was saying calling you out there, Jabari. Just happened to be the Walker's first
Yeah.
name, Jabari too.
Yeah, we got I think 2 Jabaris in there now, Jabari Walker and Jabari Smith. So
That's a lot of Jabaris, man.
not really.
You don't
There's only
think so?
3. Me and them 2.
Yeah,
Well, you're the most important one, that's for sure.
exactly.
Nah, I wouldn't say that. Those guys make millions. I'm not there
Yeah,
yet.
that don't make. They're just athletes, man. They're everyday people. All right, we're in the last stages of the NHL season, guys,
Mm-hmm.
and we've got some games tonight. Rangers got to, if they want to keep that number 1 spot, they got to keep going. They're playing the Devils at home. The Rangers are at home. They're deadly at home. Tampa Bay and Toronto tonight. Edmonton and Dallas. Seattle and the Kings. The big game for the Kings, who hold a 3-point lead over the Blues for the last wild card in the West, and have Vancouver and Arizona. Not much there, but some pretty interesting stuff happening in the world of hockey. We're getting down to the nitty-gritty, and teams are trying to shape up their games for this playoff run. And what do you guys think?
Mike?
I mean, I'm excited.
Okay. Justin says you can never have enough Jabaris. All right. There you go. There you go.
I'm looking forward to it. Hey, I would like the Stars to actually do something this year, in the postseason. So, hey, we'll see what happens.
But you got your Avalanche too.
We do, but it's Texas's year this year. I got a good feeling.
Speaking of Texas, speaking of Houston, speaking of big breaking news that happened today, the trade of Stephon Diggs to the Texans, who now have Joe Mixon, Stephon Diggs, and they are loading up, guys. That is a huge pickup. And what the heck? They got either a 5th or a 6th round pick, and they're only giving up a 2nd round pick.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So what does that say about Steph? Was there problems there in Buffalo?
Absolutely.
Clearly, yeah. I mean that yeah. I think that trade pretty well, and what went down there makes sense. We had been hearing that anyway, but I mean, your initial thought has got to be that you like this move for Houston. I mean, how can you argue? You already have some decent receivers there.
Right.
I think picking up Joe Mixon is a great move for them. You're just giving CJ Stroud more weapons to work with here. He's a baller. He showed that last year. He's a gamer. I mean, I like it. I mean, I know Stephon Diggs has not necessarily showed up in some big games, and some of that could be on the coaching and Allen and those issues. But you got to think that that this move is good for CJ Stroud in particular.
Okay, come on,
Say it
Mr.
any better.
Houston.
I couldn't say it any better. I'm 100% with Mike. And like you said, big blockbuster trade. I was just talking to a couple friends before the show. Makes sense why we didn't sign Mike Evans. Now, I preferably would have preferred Mike Evans,
Of
but
course.
it makes sense of why we didn't sign him, and why Saquon also went to Philly, because maybe we had already had something in the works to get Stephon here. So, I talked to them earlier, and I'll say the same question to you guys. Do you think the last time this has happened, it was the '08 Cardinals? I believe that '08 Cardinals team also went to the Super Bowl. That is the last team.
The last team.
Let him get readjusted.
Okay.
Mike just died.
Okay.
Okay, that mic just died. So the last team in NFL history was the 2008 Cardinals. I think that Cardinals team also went to a Super Bowl. They were the last team to have 3 wide receivers with 1,000-yard season. Okay.
Okay.
Do you think the Texans, now with the trio of Nico Collins, Tank Dell, and Stephon Diggs, now can do that again in 2024?
I do, 100%.
Yeah.
And CJ Stroud is a big reason for that. And I think Adam Mixon's a good move there. I believe in CJ Stroud. I got to be honest with you, what I'm seeing from this kid, I mean, Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, those guys, I think CJ Stroud's going to pass them up in terms of where we're ranking quarterbacks, young quarterbacks. I think he's going to pass them up 100% this year, maybe even, where we'll be saying, you know what, CJ Stroud's better than Joe Burrow. He's better than Justin Herbert, and Tua as well. I think we could throw his name in there. I think CJ Stroud is going to just absolutely have a massive year.
Yeah, he's going to blossom. All right, check out these off-season additions, Jabari. We haven't even talked about this. Diggs, defensive end Hunter, Joe Mixon. We just talked about him. Danico Autry, defensive tackle. Cornerback, Jeff, how do you say, Okuda? Cornerback, C.J. Henderson. Defensive tackle, Tim Settle. Defensive tackle, Foley Fatakasi. And punter, Tommy Townsend. I mean, that's a lot of defensive players there, boys, that they have added to the mix. The Houston Texans there are people saying that they are the second best team right now.
And they are.
The AFC.
They're top 5 in the NFL. If I had to choose, in my personal opinion, I think we're better than the Ravens. The Ravens added Derrick Henry, but you lose your wide receiver core. And then you also lost 2 key defensive pieces on defense. Another contender. Who else was a contender this year? The Bills are no longer contenders in my eyes. That team is well gone. No longer a contender. Nobody. I mean, San Fran, okay. Yeah. I still think, and this is pending that Brandon Ayuk sign or trade, depending on what happened there. I still think we have a better wide receiver core room than San Fran. San Fran still has my CMC. Great. But I don't know. Just the way this team is right now, we're in that sports equinox. We have a rookie on both sides of the field. We picked up key defensive pieces. Jeff Okuda was a first-round pick selected by the Detroit Lions. We got him for a bag of chips. We barely paid anything for him. Derek Stingley, we just drafted last year. Nico Collins drafted 2 years ago. CJ Stroud drafted last year. Tank Dell drafted last year. We have everybody pretty much that's important on their rookie deals. It's a win now mindset. So, hey.
Agree with you 100%. Whoa, nah. Says Diggs cries a little too much for me. Not a good mix with an up and coming quarterback.
I disagree. CJ has enough personality to tell him to calm down
Yeah,
because they were winning without you. They
Yeah.
were winning without you being there. So if he wants to throw a hissy fit, that's cool. He can be benched. We have other receivers, Noah Brown, John Mechie, that can go out there and hoop. So he's not the end all and be all to this team. You're just an addition, and you need to understand that.
The only thing you got to remember about Stephon Diggs, every place that he goes to, he makes the quarterback better.
Mm-hmm.
No,
I mean,
yeah,
that's a fact.
he does. But CJ Stroud again is already, and he may. It's going to help having another weapon to make yourself better. But yeah, I mean, Diggs is going to. I think they address that and deal with that immediately. Matter of fact, CJ Stroud, the type of the guy he seems to be, probably sits him down immediately and says, "Here's the deal, bro. This is what's going down. This is how we're doing things. And are you on board?" And Stephon Diggs has got no choice but to be on board.
Yeah. And D'Amico, I think also D'Amico's also going to have enough personality to tell him to, like, bro, you need to calm down.
Yeah.
Because I don't think that happened in Buffalo. Buffalo just kind of let him be the diva that they wanted him to be because he's all they had as far as a receiving core in Buffalo. But that's not going to fly here. You're the second or number 1B option. But we have anybody that could be a number 1 option out of the top 3 receivers on this team. So,
yeah.
Okay. I'm with you 100%. I'm rooting for I love the quarterback anyway. I mean, I fell in love with him last year. Just his ability to throw the ball in situations. He doesn't have any fear. That's what I like about him. And
how many big throws did he make? How many? I mean, my God, like I said, he's going to be above some of those quarterbacks that I just named. Probably will be saying that some point this season. I mean, we got to let this season play out a little bit, but I don't have any doubts. I think CJ Stroud's going to be one of the best quarterbacks in the league. And it may start next year that we start saying that.
Jabari, have we talked about the fact that Fields and Wilson are in Pittsburgh? I don't think that
I think we saw it, but I don't think we talked about it. And there's not a lot to talk about because they already fleshed out a lot of the public questions. They said that Justin Fields would not be starting this year because Russ is on a 1-year deal. Now, this is why I know for a fact we didn't talk about it. I disagree with them going to go get Justin now. You should have waited because he has a $25 million player option that the Steelers are going to have to pick up. So you're going to pay him $25 million to be a backup, which I very much disagree with. You got Russ for free, so I understand, okay, you don't have a quarterback that you're paying that much anyways, but he's just not worth $25 million to me. Personally, he hasn't shown anything. He's a great runner. Don't get me wrong, but he hasn't proven himself as a passer, and I don't feel comfortable giving you 25 mil, 15 mil max, 25 mil out of the question.
Okay. You think some of that is that they're worried that Russ isn't going to be able to cut it?
I mean, even if Russ doesn't cut it, they got him for a vet minimum. They paid $2 million for him, so it's a best case scenario. There's really not a lot of pressure on Russ to perform well. There was when he was in Denver because he came in on a $200 million deal. But on the Steelers, I feel like he'll play better here with no pressure than he did in Denver by far. So,
well, he's got a defense too.
Yeah.
Justin wishes the Chargers were making those kinds of moves, Mike.
Yeah.
Hey, they got the coach. I mean, come on.
Well, I mean, it's definitely not going to be this year that they make any.
Let's think about this for a second, okay? This is an extremely deep wide receiver draft. Jabari, would you agree?
Agreed.
Okay, so I think that's why you're seeing some of these teams making some of those moves, and I don't think that Harbaugh and the Chargers are too darn worried about it. I think they're going to pick up kids in the draft. Is the kid from Georgia the tight end? What's his name, Mike?
Gosh, what is
Man, it's up in the tip of my
It's at
tongue.
the tip of my tongue, man. Bowers.
Yeah. Is
Bowers.
is he going to be eligible? Is he going in the draft this year?
He should be, from what I remember. Yeah.
Yeah, he's in the yeah.
Okay. I don't know what you think about him, Jabari, but that's a tight end talent that, if somebody like the Chargers or somebody like that picks him up, he could be there for a long, long time. I really like his abilities.
Yeah. I'll be completely honest. As much as I want Harbaugh, a former coach of the Niners, as much as I want him to do well, it's going to take a couple of years because the front office needs to fix some things that they've already messed up. They've already come out and said that they are willing to move Bosa and Khalil somewhere else, which I think is a great option. Khalil's just kind of old. He's not cutting it like he used to.
Yeah.
Joey's been a little injury prone last couple of years. I think you need more pieces around Herbert, more O-line, more receivers for sure. You let Keenan walk, you let Mike walk, or you cut Mike. So your best receiver on that roster right now is Quentin Johnston, who did not do well at all.
Right.
So I don't know where they go.
And they got 9 picks in the draft this year, so they're gonna try to take the most advantage out of those and build from that. And that's why, it's probably going to take a couple of years. I mean, you can't expect Harbaugh to come in and have them beating and knocking off the Chiefs for the division in his first year when you look at all the pieces you lost and, the things you've had to do. No, that's not going to happen. It's not fair to think that's even possible and should be possible.
Right. Okay. I'm with you guys on all this. I really am. Let's see. Speaking of the draft, April 25th through the 27th will be the draft. So you know what, folks? It's only a few weeks away. Let's see. Where's the draft at this year?
Where
is gosh darn it.
I want to say it's not in hold
I'm
on,
looking right now
because I'm gonna be mad when it's in Detroit. That's right.
Detroit. That's right.
I knew it was somewhere.
The Campus Parties Park, Hart Plaza, downtown.
Yeah.
That's going to be great for the city of Detroit. I think that's a great move by the NFL, considering the success that the Lions had this last year. I think it's a great move. And you know what? We can talk NFL, folks. I know college basketball is about done.
Everything's coming to an end. We're just going to have, hockey playoffs, basketball playoffs.
Well, you don't
MLB at that point.
There you go. You don't get any better than them NBA and NHL playoffs, man.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that the NBA shows me more in the playoffs than they have in this regular season.
Yeah.
Because I got to be honest with you. I can't figure out what the hell these teams are doing. I guess what you do is you bet against Detroit, Washington, Memphis. Give me a couple other teams here, guys. I guess
Charlotte,
yeah. I guess you just bet against every one of them all the time, and if you do that, you're probably going to win money.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, of course, last night Washington ends up beating Milwaukee straight up, which is. But I get it. I'm just making a point here, saying it happened. But yeah, I mean, most of the time that is going to be the case. Maybe Utah as well. You could throw them on the list. They're pretty bad at times as well. But yeah, I mean, that's the way it's been. But I'm hopeful that we have some good play-in matchups. I think the NBA playoffs will be good. I really do. I think that we can see some good series here. I'm hopeful for it. Okay,
Let me share my screen real quick because I want to just look at this. Here's where we're at in the East: Boston, Milwaukee, Cleveland, Orlando, New York, and Indiana. There's your top 6, followed by Miami, which is pretty close to. They're only half a game behind Indiana. They could very well be in that top 6. I actually think Indiana's probably going to be down here in this bottom four. Philadelphia down this far, of course, with Embiid,
He just got back.
That's a big, who just got back, right? So they've been without him for a long time.
Yeah.
Chicago and Atlanta, that's pretty well got it sewed up there. I don't think Brooklyn's entering the. I think those 10 teams are the 10 teams, don't you guys?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, I don't.
He's not very competitive this year, in my opinion.
No, definitely not. And then in the West, where Denver is taking over from Minnesota's hanging in there. I really thought they were going to fall apart, and they haven't. But man, look at that. There's a half a game separating the top 3 teams in the West.
They're hanging around without Cat. They're hanging around.
Exactly. The Rockets falling off and Golden State moving up. Not surprising there, but anything could happen here between 6, 7, 8, and even 9. This could all change. Dallas and New Orleans are nowhere near, in my opinion, in a completely solid position. What do you guys think?
No, probably. I mean, nothing's necessarily guaranteed right now with it being bunched up like that. So yeah, I mean, they're going to have trouble holding on. They're going to have to, continue to play good down the stretch to hold that position.
Utah's another team that you just don't bet on either. You bet against. Houston got a shot here, guys, at getting in, or are these 10 teams set?
No, they're set pretty much.
Okay, it's just positioning. But don't you think that from 5 to 10 that we could have some movement?
Yeah, for sure, because there's only 4 games separating them.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I just want to make sure we were on the same wavelength there. All right. What do we got going on tonight in the NBA? Any matchups that we like? We got Portland and Charlotte. That ought to be a dandy. Lakers and Wizards, Pistons and Hawks, Thunder and Celtics. That's a 12.5 point advantage for the Celtics.
Yeah, no SGA.
Yeah. Pacers and Nets, Memphis and Milwaukee, Raptors and T-Wolves, Magic and Pelicans might be a fairly decent matchup, and the Cavs at Phoenix. That looks like that could be a fairly decent matchup. Problem is that when I go here and I want to look at these games, guys, I have no idea who's playing unless at what time of the day are you guys checking to see what these lineups are?
20 minutes before the game, because that's what they usually do.
Okay. Steve, there's a Stevie B parlay of Rangers, Stars, and Kings. Yeah, we know you're going and watching them play Portland. Yeah, we know. Yeah. Justin's all about that. He's going to enjoy that.
I'm rolling with. I'm going to roll with the Blue Jays and the Astros nerfy tonight. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to roll with it. I think Bassett has a bounce back game here tonight. Anyway, definitely didn't do too hot in his first start, but I think he bounces back. And then obviously Houston having Javier on the mound tonight should be good for them. So
is that a $50 nerfy bet or is it a $100 nerfy bet, Mike?
No, this is a light nerfy here. It's not one I love. My main worry is Bassett in this matchup here. I think Javier will be fine. But my worry is Bassett. So we'll have to wait until the bottom half. We'll sweat that out, assuming Javier gets them in that top half, we're going to be going into the bottom of the first with all the pressure on Bassett to get the job done for us. But I think we will. I think we can cash it.
Well, I got
look at Dodgers and Giants. Giants have been good to the Nerfy this year. Obviously, last night was the first time they didn't have a Nerfy. But I did look at that. The worry there is the Dodgers, that offense, that lineup, it worries me.
Okay, so
I mean, Dodgers have Glass now going, and I do like Harrison for the Giants as well. So, I mean, his last start, he did hit the Nerfy. So it is one I'm intrigued by. I just can't decide if I want to pull the trigger on it or not.
Nerfy between the Jays and Astros is minus 110. I got a 50% profit boost. Bumps it up to plus 136 on BetMGM. So
yeah, I mean, it's definitely favored to the Yerfy, that matchup, it seems, but
not much.
Not much.
No, the Yerfy is minus 120. So, it's pretty close. I'm going to go ahead and put $15 on it right now.
Sounds good, man. We'll ride that one out, and we will see. We'll see what I decide with the Giants-Dodgers Nerfy. If I decide to pull the trigger on it, I will post it on X and let everybody know that we're going to ride it.
Jabari, in Texas, from a betting perspective, is there anything? I know you're in some global books and what have you. Are you doing any Nerfies or Yerfies at all? Are you?
I am. Yes.
And aren't there some of those is Prize Picks have some of those?
Yes, they do, but they're absolutely garbage.
Are they?
Because they manipulate which ones are up there and which ones aren't. So by the time you get ready to go bet one, it's pretty much already done. It's probably usually off the board.
All right, gotcha. All right, let's talk tonight. Who's balling? Who's pucking? You guys got anything? I'm going to go first. And I'm going to go with who's pucking tonight. And I'm going to go with, you know what? I'm going to ride him. 60 goal scorer. I'm going to ride with Austin Matthews. Austin Matthews at home. I think he's going to get to 70 goals this year. He's got a good shot at it. Of course, only 7 games left, but he's the kind of guy who could score goals in bunches, but a 60-goal scorer in back-to-back years. NHL has to be happy about that. Oh, and by the way, look at the guys with over 100 points right now. McDavid, Kucherov, McKinnon, Matthews. Offense in the NHL is in good shape, and it's making the game very exciting. That's who I got, Austin Matthews. Mike, you pucking or balling?
I'm going to go ahead and ball tonight, and I'm going to take Evan Mobley tonight to get us over 14.5 points. That is going to be who I am expecting to ball out tonight.
Okay, and by the way, Stephen Batsa just said he's tailing that Nerfy.
Awesome, man.
We are going to have a profitable day. All right. Jabari, you balling or pucking?
I'm balling. I am balling. We're going to go ahead and take DeAndre Ayton against the Charlotte Hornets. The whole Charlotte Hornets starting lineup besides him is out. Fun fact, his PRA line is it is statistically the highest it's ever been in his career.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think he gets it personally. But I mean, hey, he should ball out. Who I think should do extremely well, and I guess this might be balling too, is Mookie Betts. Mookie Betts against the Giants. So if you find something better that you like for Mookie, I would definitely take him.
Mookie is something else. By the way, I know we didn't go to the positive EV page. We're going to cut it short here, but I do want to point out something. On the positive EV page now, you're starting to see player RBIs. First time they've ever shown up, folks. Huge. RBIs can be huge, and they're usually plus money. All right.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jabari. Appreciate you, man. Great job as always. Go Texans. Go UConn, too. See you later, folks.